Hi, this video going out to the board officers regarding our summit we just had this past weekend. First of all, it was great to see all of you this weekend. It's just a reminder of the brain trust that has been formed and has kept together as a result of this very simple idea of working together, public and private. It's interesting. A couple of administrative things. The videos came out great. The audio came out for the whole meeting. We'll make those available in unedited format just for you guys on the board website. I'll send you a link. Is kind of a do-out. We're going to have the audio transcribed. There was just such great one-liners and thoughts and so forth. We'll have all that transcribed, unedited, and send it to you guys. Thirdly, John Molnar has the conflict of interest forms, and he'll document, PDF those in the documentation, which is great. Pictures came out okay. The video of the meeting came out well. I took snippets of different things, and we'll use that as part of the marketing piece. Next item, I will work with, I mentioned my son Brian hired a firm to help him synchronize his marketing efforts for the investment community. So I'm going to capture that as a way of putting together synchronized messaging for all of us to use going forward in the form of a really high-grade PDF and website as we start to message the Institute. After the meeting, Dennis and Tom Hyatt, Sandy, John Molnar, and John Contestable and I stuck around, had some drinks, some good discussion there. And one of the things that I came back from Philly and my mind was just racing. I fell asleep right away. I got up the next morning. About 5:30, I was on the motorcycle. I spent all Sunday on the motorcycle going through half of West Virginia and Western Maryland. It was a beautiful day. Got back about 4 o'clock. But I just had a way to kind of process all the stuff here. So what I'm going to do is circulate an email. And I did talk to my son. He said, Dad, it would be really helpful if you guys did kind of a FAQ and let all the board members answer the questions. So it'll really synchronize our collective thoughts, great word, Sandy Schrader, collective, around these things. And we can use this going forward to make sure we answer the questions, but in also answering the questions, it'll generate some new questions. But the idea, you want to be able to answer all the questions before they get asked, right? Is the Institute a nonprofit? Will it be someday? Who are the targeted donors or sponsors we're going to go after? We need to develop a list of those. What's in the pitch deck? How are we going to staff? And Kelly McKinney asked a really important question. He said, I don't see how this scales, and so I'm going to talk to Kelly about how we get there. But one of the things I mentioned to Kelly was, in that room we had 8 or 10 of kind of the brain trust. But there's a much broader circle than just that, and but we need to have a system to grow that circle. And so one of the things I was thinking about yesterday was, what is that process? So I'm going to be sending you all kind of a little text on, what are the 5 or 3 or 2, whatever, basic principles people have to understand our culture. And we have this documented in other places, but I think we need to document the culture of what the consortium is about. Because to Kelly's point, we can't just hire a bunch of junior people to get in here and start helping us. We're not going to scale that way. And unlike a disaster, we're not scaling for an event that then we're going to scale back down. We want to scale and scale up and have people we can work with on the facilitation front, because that's where the action happens, is running Friday morning calls every week forever. It's getting the people that know how to do that and the teams that know how to do that, so that you can conduct the facilitation, you can drive out solutions, You can drive out policy. You can drive these things out of these discussions, because most of the people on the call are not going to do that. You're going to have a skill set that does that. And then another skill set that can turn that into a guide, make it look pretty, an operational guide, a data set, call NOAA to get the people to give us the data. You know, there's all that back-end operational stuff. So I'm going to work with Contestable on the duties of how we carve this up. But I think at the end of the day, it was a great first meeting. We came out of that with two of the three things that I needed. One was on the front end mission statement. We got to define what it is we're after, and I think we did a pretty good job at doing that. And then I think we started with an agreement on a path forward, right? And the goal, in my mind, would be to be able to pitch 25 organizations on the Institute for funding to get it started. So we got a lot of work to do before we do that, but I think having a pitch deck will force us to organize our thinking, organize the problem statement, the benefits, the solutions we bring, the unique solutions we bring, and how we impact operational problem solving, how we impact commercialization of research, and creating partners throughout a network. So, but anyway, I just wanted to send you a short video and say thanks again for all of your time on Saturday. I know you're away from your families, and I know, I really, really appreciate that. And I think it's all for kind of the greater good, but you still have to take the time to do it. So thanks a lot, and stay tuned.